Rather handy that Mark Hannaby mentioned Barack Obama there, because we're going to talk about him now. The international praise for him continues, especially after his order to close the camp at Guantanamo Bay. But in his first radio address to the United States yesterday, the economy was the big issue. So how will his plans to safeguard American jobs affect us here in Wales? Roy Thomas is from the Wales North American Business Council, and Denis Campbell is a former Democratic Party strategist who now edits the e-magazine UK Progressive. Welcome to the programme, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Roy, how important is American investment to the Wales economy?
Hugely important. He's announced yesterday $825 billion into the American economy, which he's hoping to get announced mid-February. We hope that will roll out into Wales. We have corporations like GE and Ford, of course, which was the first inward investor from America. So foreign direct investment from the States has always been important to our economy.
And Denis, presumably, as the elected president of the United States, his obvious constituent is that country. He has to make sure that they're okay, that their jobs are safeguarded. Does that have potentially dangerous implications for the economy here in Wales?
Well, I really don't think so. I think he is going to have to focus inwardly because of the depth of the banking crisis and the recession. But he has always been someone who has looked abroad, as has the entire U.S. economy, because we are in a global economy. So I don't think that's going to be that much of a big issue.
Because there have been concerns expressed already, Roy, haven't there, that particularly a Democratic president might be tempted to be a little bit protectionist in these troubled times.
Well, certainly they've shot a fiery shot across the bows of China in that regard, but I don't see that happening in Europe. We've always had good relations with the United States and with democratic presidents, so we're hoping that will continue. And the dollar, of course, is strong at the moment, and that's at 139. It went down to 134 on Friday, the lowest since 1985. Now, we can take advantage of that with foreign direct investment and trade.
Denis, you're nodding there. You agree then with what Roy was saying about the strength of the business relationship between the US of A and Europe and Wales in particular?
Oh, absolutely. And as we continue to move forward down the pathway towards recovery in the United States, that will also, a rising tide lifts all boats, and that will also be the case here as well. So you've got some political issues still to settle with Democrats versus Republicans, and I think President Obama made it very clear 2 days ago in his private meeting that he indeed was the winner of the election, and his party does indeed control 60% of the seats in both of the houses. So there will be a bit of intramural squabbling, but there are a lot of things happening, and he is keenly aware of the need for a very quick recovery and a very quick movement on the economic side as well as investment.
So you're confident that his rescue plan for the US economy will be approved?
I think it will be approved, but I think there's still some changes to come. There are some very concerning numbers buried inside there right now. There's about $300 billion worth of tax cuts, and not that much for infrastructure, which is what he ran on. And I think there's a bit of political parsing going on now. They're all trying to play nicely, but I think when push comes to shove, the train is leaving the station, the Republicans have an opportunity to be on board, but it will not always be the way it's been under Clinton and their way all the time.
And Roy, how important will it be for the economy in Europe and the economy of Wales that Barack Obama's plan to get the US economy back on track is successful and is successful quickly?
Well, as Denis said, we're living in a global economy, and if you're talking on Anglesey or you're talking in Bridgend, both parts of Wales, north and south and mid, rely on global investment. So it's important for us to actually look at unemployment rates. We share those unemployment rates with the US. But what I love about Obama, he looks at families, and that's the key thing for Wales. We need to look after our children and looking after unemployment in our families and putting people back into economic activity, and that's going to be essential. And I think Obama gives us hope there, and I think some of the ideas and ideals that we heard yesterday from his statement we can actually put to good use here in Wales.
It sounds encouraging. Perhaps this is a little bit negative, Denis, but he's going to care more about families in Detroit, presumably, than families in Wrexham. There is nothing to worry about in that, you feel?
Well, I wouldn't say there's nothing to worry about. I think all things come in good time. I think the bigger worry from the perspective of here locally is the United States has just come out of a grueling 2-year-long election cycle. And now that they're at the end, they finally realize they have to do something. What concerns me for here in Wales is that you're about to enter into an election cycle. And there's an awful lot of posturing going on, but not a lot of solutions being offered by either side for fear of the other taking political advantage. So I think that's going to be the bigger issue.
Roy, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, he said, and he quoted from the scripture in his inauguration speech, let's put away childish things. And I think let's concentrate on the economy. Let's put every single bit of energy in Wales into getting wealth creation. So we don't have people tapping on the doors of AMs and MPs' offices on a Friday asking for a job. That's the reality, and we've got to get on with it.
Gentlemen, thank you both very much indeed.
Thank you.